Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our Week 2 Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Press Conference, sponsored by Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance. Recap over the weekend. We'll start off with Saturday. Big weekend. The Statesmen improved to 2-0 after defeating North Greenville University 41-9. Big historic win for head coach Todd Cooley. Not only his birthday being on Sunday, he became the school's all-time winningest head coach for Delta State football program with win number 77. This week, your Statesmen hit the road. They go to North Carolina to take on UNC Pembroke this Saturday. It'll be a 1 o'clock local time for North Carolina, meaning it'll be a 12 o'clock kickoff here in Cleveland, Mississippi. So without further ado, I'll bring up the new all-time winningest head coach for the Delta State football program, Todd Cooley.
Appreciate everybody being here today. Really excited about number one, I was excited about our crowd Saturday night. I thought we had a really good crowd. I thought they made a difference, and that was a challenge that that's what I was hoping for. And I thought that they gave us a lot of energy. I thought the weather was good, and just having a crowd that stuck around to the end of the game. I think our student section and our band and cheerleaders have been unbelievable so far this year, and it's really helped us during games. Obviously, we have a challenge this week because it's a road trip. It's our first road game of the season, and it's going to be a tough challenge. UNC Pembroke does a lot of good things. I think Coach Mark Hall is a very good football coach. I've been following his career for a while. He's done it a long time. He's won in a lot of places. He won at Shawan. He's winning there. And they do a lot of good things. Offensively, they're very multiple. He knows how to move the ball up and down the field. They've got some skilled kids that are very dangerous. Defensively, they pressure. They're like us. They try to base out of a one high safety shell, but they will pressure a lot. They probably pressure 40% of the time, and they do it a lot on early downs, trying to get you into third and longs, and they understand what they're doing, and they're very disciplined in the way that they do pressure you. And I just think they play hard. I think their kids play hard. And, here's what you got to understand is we're getting up at 5:45. We're leaving at 5:45 on Friday morning, and we're driving all the way across the country to North Carolina. We're probably not going to get to our hotel till probably 10 o'clock that night. And we got to get up the next day and be ready to roll. Nobody feels sorry for us. It's an afternoon kick. It'll be our first afternoon kick. So a lot of guys traveling for the first time with us. So we're going to see if we can handle it, and it's what you got to do. If you're going to be a good football team, you got to go on the road and you got to perform away from home as well as you do at home. So with that being said, that's the challenge ahead of us, and I think it's going to be tough on us this week, but it's why you play, and we got to get ready and prepared, and that's already started this morning in meetings, and hopefully we'll continue. We'll have a good week of prep, and hopefully we can handle this trip okay.
Y'all's run defense this year has been extremely solid. Y'all done a good job with that. Talk about the way the guys have played overall, and how essential is that going to be against Pembroke?
Well, I think our defense has shown up every era. They're 2 for 2 showing up. I thought they played really hard the other night. Even when it wasn't good, they were physical. I think we do a good job. I knew the defense was. It doesn't, like I think I might have told you after the game, and it doesn't surprise me. It's what I see daily in their preparation. We just got to keep building on that. Can we go do it on the road? It's every week's different, and it's like we talk about, the toughest thing about college football is doing it week in and week out. And at our level, we're kind of like, I think, especially in our region, I think we're kind of like what it used to be like in Division I football. You got to keep winning games if you want to play in the postseason. And now they've extended the playoffs a little bit. Those early losses don't hurt the big boys as much as it used to. But we're still trying to build a resume. This is an in-region game. It's a team that, like North Greenville, was picked to win their league. They went to Wingate. I think it was 30-21. They had some other opportunities. We've been to Wingate. You score 21 against Wingate, you're really good on offense. So they did that, And then they turn around and beat Fayetteville State last week. So, I mean, it's not easy to beat Fayetteville State, as we all know. So they're a good football team. This is going to be a challenge for us. Our defense is going to have to continue to do the things that they've been doing and just continue to get better. But I'm proud of where our defense is right now, and I like the way they're playing.
Just kind of looking at some of the numbers. I know the turnovers haven't been what you would like. I know
No.
you turned the ball over a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Giving up a safety in each game and a
Yeah.
couple of missed kicks. But y'all are 2-0. What does that say about the potential of this team?
That's a tough word when you say potential. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we'll figure it out and we can see it, because if we're still talking about this 4 or 5 weeks from now, then that's all it is potential. It's got to turn into production. We got to start. We can't snap the ball with the punter's head. We can't not take care of the football. We have to take care of the football. And we got to take it away. We didn't take the ball away the other night, and we had one on the ground. We didn't get it, and threw a ball high, got an interception, threw one through a receiver's hands. It got intercepted, and then we fumbled one on the goal. It's stuff you're not going to be able to do, if you want to reach your potential. So.
Wasn't around at the end of the game Saturday, Coach,
Mm-hmm.
there for the first half, but become the winningest coach
Mm-hmm.
Delta State history. Kind of put that in perspective. What does that mean to you?
It's humbling. I mean, it's a blessing for sure. When you go to work every day, and I never got to meet Coach McCool, I never got to meet Coach Chadwick, but I hear stories, from people that knew them and what great men they were, and to know that you're, in Chadwick Dixon building that we're in, and then to go to, Horace McCool Stadium every day, and to know that my name is mentioned with them now is pretty cool. I don't know. I just think we're blessed. I say it before. I'll say it. I'll keep saying it, man. It's so many times in today's college sports, especially my sport of football that we're all involved in. People don't get opportunities to try to fix things. I was given an opportunity to fix it after the 21 season, and we fixed it. And man, that takes a lot of courage in your leadership to not listen, to the voices that are saying, "Hey, we need to make a change. We need to do this. We need to do that." And I that's something that, to me, that I'll never forget with Coach Kennison and Dr. Ennis and everybody has, just been real good. At the time, it was President LaForge at that time, but just Coach Kennison was the main one that just said, "No, we're gonna stick with Coach and we're gonna try to figure it out," and he did, and that's why I think I'm still standing here. To just be honest, the guy stuck with me when some people didn't really want to stick with me at that time. So I'll never forget that, and I'll always be grateful for that. And I think there's a lot of that every day. You want to do well by your university and by your community, but I want to do well by him because of what he did for me. So that gives me a lot of motivation every day. So, but yeah, I'm blessed. I'm honored. Think about all the coaches, all the players. Man, it's humbling. It really is. I never thought it would happen, but it has. So.
When you say you never thought it would happen, why do you say that?
I don't know. You just don't think like that. I don't think you just set out and you say, "Oh, I'm gonna be the all-time career leading wins and all that stuff." I don't think you just stay in the moment. You just worry about your team. You worry about your team and kind of stay where your feet are. And that stuff. If you stay somewhere long enough and you eventually it'll happen, I guess. So, been here a while.
And turning back to your team, the way y'all were just clicking, offensively, defensively, especially there in that first half. As a coach, I know there's probably no such thing as a perfect game, but is that something that you're chasing? You want to try to say, okay, this is something that no
right.
turnovers, no
Right.
penalties,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
negative yardage. But is that something that you want to chase, although it may not be attainable?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think you're chasing it, but I think what you got to do, and I think you do the same thing in life, right? Is you just try to put the process to it, right? The process to it. Hey, let's put ourselves in position. You know, let's think about the fundamentals of each play. Let's get a line correctly. Let's lock in on the snap count. If you're practicing at that level and you're focused at that level, I think then what you're saying, you're not ever going to reach it. You know what I mean? I don't think there's no such thing, man, we played a perfect game. This is not going to happen. But you're going to play cleaner. You're going to play better. Just like anything you do in life. You know, if you're all result driven, you know, that's just like my biggest deal is, you know, we talk about if we get in a 4-minute situation at the end of the game, you know what I'm saying? And we don't say, hey, don't turn the ball over. I never say that. I say protect the football. 2 hands on it in contact. Stay in bounds. You know, just the little things that keep them thinking about what to do instead of not what not to do, if that makes sense to everybody. So that's the kind of things that we try to talk about. And we always just want to say we want to play harder than our opponent. We want to play harder than our opponent. How do you judge that? I think you judge that by yards after contact. I think you judge that by how many missed tackles you had. You judge that by how many missed assignments you had. And I think you can judge it that way. You know, I think so. I'm like, you know, playing hard is one thing, but can you play harder than your opponent? You know, can you tackle better? Can you block better? Can you substitute better? Can you communicate better than your opponent did? And if you can do that, you got a chance to win. You know, and that's what we're trying to do right now. We're still learning. We're a long ways away, but I like this football team. They want to win. I think what we had a little bit of problems with the other night, and we addressed it this morning, is we've got guys that are wanting to do a little too much. You know, they're wanting to make the big time play, which is great because you want them to make big time plays, but it's just do what you're coached to do on that play. Don't try to do too much. If they're giving you this route, take this route. Don't try to turn it into something else. You know, just take the one that we call. You know, they decide if you're going to run deep or you're going to run short by how they play you. So just to give you an example. But anyway. Anything else? Didn't mean to go off on that little coaching spiel there, but we all good? Go ahead.
As far as going back to the team,
Uh-huh.
you know, of course, the night that Saturday when you broke the record, just kind of looking at the way the guys just handle things so far, they don't seem to be caught up in
Right.
in any mistake. How proud are you when you see, you know, that when something happens, a team just kind of puts that play away and just focuses on the next play?
They do a better job of it than I do. I can promise you. They let mistakes go a lot quicker than I do, and that's something I feel like they're supposed to learn from you, but I'm supposed to learn from them too, and I think I can learn that from them. They do a really good job of that. You know, this team has done a really good job of that. Our team in 22 did a really good job of that. Our team in 23 did a good job of that. So that's what they have similar to those football teams, right? Is the thing that we've got to get better at is not repeating those mistakes. You know, yeah, we learned, we moved on, and it didn't affect us, but then we repeat it again the next week, so we haven't learned from them yet. You know, that's where we can get better as a football team, right there. But yeah, I do like the fact that they just keep playing. You know, they don't really care. They just keep playing. All right, well, we turn the ball over, no big deal. We're gonna stop them. We're gonna get the ball back. You know, I like that mentality about them. They don't panic. They do not panic, which is great. But that's what's gonna be interesting this week because we've been home, right? We've had everybody behind us. Now we're going on the road. Are we going to panic on the road? That's going to be the question for this team. Always a test, man. You got to pass the test each week, and it's going to be a tough test this week because Pembroke's a really good football team, well coached, physical, fast. So yeah, it's going to be a real test for us. Hopefully we can play with them. I think it'll be a pretty good ball game if we can go handle the trip. I really do. I appreciate y'all as always. Go Statesman.
Appreciate you, Coach. Another highlight to mention, too, just announced at 11 a.m. Junior defensive tackle Alex Larry has been named the Gulf South Conference Defensive Player of the Week. This weekend, our men's soccer team, very long road trip to South Texas. Thursday night, they faced St. Edwards in a game that the score did not define the result of the game. The result of the game did not define how the game was. It was a 3-0 defeat to St. Edwards. Following up Saturday, they end up getting a tie in Laredo against Texas A&M International. This week, they're on the road at Louisiana Christian on Friday, and they'll play home Sunday against Mississippi College. So without further ado, we'll bring up men's soccer head coach Austin Jackman.
How's everyone doing? Appreciate you guys coming out today. Like Braden said, very long road trip this weekend. And Austin was, like he also alluded to, yes, it was a 3-0 defeat. But, had a pretty good shout for a penalty in the first 2.5 minutes that I think anywhere but St. Ed's University it's called that night. Unfortunate not to get it, and just proud of the reaction. We asked the guys at halftime, we needed a reaction, and it could have gone 3-2 in the first 5-10 minutes. We had 2 very, very, very good chances, and just kept battling, which that's kind of all you can ask for at that point when it's 3-0. Just keep battling. We as a staff got to do a little better job getting guys prepared. Shouldn't have to go into halftime 3-0 down, so we'll take that one on the chin, and we've got to do a better job this week with that. And then proud of the group again on Saturday. Laredo was probably about 105 degrees, 1 p.m. kickoff, so never easy with those conditions. But guys battled and ended up getting a 2-2 draw and had our chances to win it in the last 10 minutes when it was 2-2. So overall, positive road trip, lots to build on, a couple things to work on, and looking forward to this week. So I'll open it up to questions after that.
Just kind of looking at this first game with St. Edwards. Stats indicate 23 shots to y'all's 10 and 9 shots on goal to y'all's 2. The next game, y'all are able to get more shots on goal and limit Texas A&M. It looked like y'all did a better job at getting more scoring opportunities and limiting the other team. Just talk about the learning process from Thursday to Saturday.
Yeah, as a staff, we've kind of discussed it. It's a lot of people look at box scores, and they tell a little bit of the game, but not much if you ask me. A lot of those St. Ed shots in that second half is when we're chasing a game 3-0 down. And I think if you look at it at another level, I think Daniel made 2 saves in that second half against St. Ed's. The rest were off target. He didn't have much to do. And on the other hand of that, we had chances and we didn't make their goalie make a save. So they come in as shots, but they're not on target. And I think we got to do a better job of that. And then like you alluded to, Saturday, we thought it was a good opportunity for us. They played in a 4-2-4, which is risky at times, but has its rewards. And we did a really good job with the personnel that we decided to play in our midfield. And you see Alfie, he got the start, got a goal, got an assist, and did a really good job creating chances. And like I said, we had 2 point-blank chances in the last 10 minutes that I think on a Thursday game when your legs aren't too heavy, they result in a goal. So.
And of course, AJ Stewart, he also got a goal in that game, and just talk about as far as just kind of offensively. It just really looked like that the guys are really. It seemed like they again developed, and it seemed like they've got a little momentum going.
Yeah, for sure. They Thursday's always a toss-up with first game of the year. You're going in blind. You don't have much film on anyone. You don't know how they're going to play. You can go back to last year, but the roster turnover this day and age. So we had a little more information about A&M International. Did our homework and thought we could get at them. And like you said, we created plenty of chances and kind of found a rhythm. We were a little more direct than we were Thursday night, probably too direct at times when there was a little more space to play. But like you said, created good opportunities, and hopefully that continues this Friday and Sunday.
And at the goal, Daniel was in there on Thursday, and Mason in there on Saturday. Just talk about that rotation and how both of those guys played at goalkeeper.
Yeah, I mean it's been a good battle so far, and just keep both of them sharp. Went with Daniel Thursday, played well. Went with Mason Saturday, played well as well. So it'll continue to be a good battle. I mean, we saw what Daniel could do in 23, and then we saw Mason have a really, really good year last year. So just continue to make each other better and raise each other's level. And at some point, we'll have to make a decision. But as of right now, they're both playing well, and it's a good feeling as a head coach to, hey, I can rely on any of those 4 goalies that we've got on the roster. So,
as Coach Cooley was talking about, of course, they've got a big road trip to UNC Pembroke. Of course, y'all's big road trip was this past week. How do you feel just in the preparation, just how the guys did on the travel, on the bus in between games? What type of team, just even before they hit the field, could you sense out of the guys? Because it sounds like you were optimistic in how they handled those things.
Yeah, I mean it's just a good group to be around. The togetherness is there. They all really, really get along, and I think road trips help that. You spend a lot of time on the bus, especially going from Laredo to home. We got in at about 7:30 yesterday morning. But just continue to build that togetherness and closeness, and we challenge them almost every day to, hey, can you get closer on the field? Can you get closer off the field? Because I do believe when things get tough, the closer the group is together, the better your chances are of good things happening. So.
I was just curious, Coach. I know this is the final week of the non-conference part of your schedule. The next 2 games, and then after that, next week you'll start conference play. How important is it maybe for you to have some momentum going into the start of conference play, knowing that that's just a week away?
Yeah, extremely important. And there'll be 2 really good tests. Obviously, MC is an out-of-conference game on Sunday, but, I mean, that's still a big rival, and we'd love to have as much support as possible out there at Delta Field at 3:30 on Sunday. And then Louisiana Christian, good NAIA side that is going to give us another really good test on Friday, another road trip, day trip, but just 2 really good tests, especially right before conference starts. So that's all we can really ask for. 4 quality games right before conference.
You touched on the MC game. How would you best maybe describe the rivalry? You've been a part of it now the past few years, but is it a bitter one? Is it more about respect? But how would you best sum up the best way of putting your thumbprint on just the intensity of MC Delta State over the past few years?
Yeah. They've got a new coach this year. Rafa and I are very good friends. He was a player when I was a GA here, and we just kind of been in touch. But it's still a game, and I still want to beat them just as bad as they want to beat me. And previous with that, with Kevin, like, so much respect with what he's done in the game for just the sport of soccer in Mississippi. You don't really see the impact he's had, especially in the Jackson area, but just the impact he's had on the game is just, I can't speak highly enough about him. And just so much respect with Kev, with Rafa. But for my 90 minutes, I want to absolutely destroy them if possible. So, and I'm sure it's the same with them. So, appreciate your time today, guys, and thank you, Go Statesman.
Thank you, Austin. And Chloe Kane not making it today. She's in Milledgeville, Georgia, as our Lady Statesman yesterday. Played in a neutral site contest with St. Leo, which ended in a loss with 3-2 final. Millie Congerton and Yalitza Cepeda both scoring goals for Lady Statesmen there. They were here Friday afternoon with a tie with Eckerd College. Also, our women's cross-country team opened up their season last Friday, finishing 8th at the Mississippi College Open Invitational. And this week, our women's soccer team are back at Delta Field on Saturday as they host the Nova Southeastern Sharks at 1 o'clock p.m. Tomorrow, also, your Lady Statesmen are on the road again against Georgia College and State University. That'll kick off also at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. It will be 12 o'clock here at noon. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this afternoon. And again, the football team, I forgot to mention the football team, they're on the road Saturday at UNC Pembroke, followed with the men's soccer team home with the derby against Mississippi College. Once again, thank you guys. Hope you guys enjoy the week. As always, go Statesmen.